For many developing nations, remittances from citizens working abroad provide a major source of the much-needed funds back home. This is no exception for Nigeria, as diaspora remittance constitutes the second largest revenue source for the country after oil.
In 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, Nigerians in abroad sent home $19.7 billion, $22.1 billion, $25.1 billion, and $26.5 billion respectively, which was higher than the amount garnered from oil exports in the same period. The reasons are not preposterous. Nigerians are spread all over the world. Name the country in major countries of North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and even Africa. You're likely to find Nigerians living in those places, and they send billions of foreign currency home annually.
The African continent as a whole has seen a massive shift in its remittance figures and patterns over the years. Undoubtedly, it has become a building block in the growth and prosperity of the continent. So, let's take a look at some facts and figures to truly grasp the importance of diaspora remittance in the Nigerian economy.
The growth of remittances to Nigeria in 2018 represented a 14% uptick from the preceding year. It amounted to 83% of the federal government's budget for the year and accounted for 5.74% of its GDP. A significant chunk of remittances to Nigeria come from the United States, Switzerland, UAE, Cameroon, Russia, and China, among others.
However, in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, a disruption in the remittance pattern is inevitable.
With the pandemic dealing a heavy blow on jobs and wages in many sectors of the global economy, migrants are affected, and that has caused a slowdown in the amount of money these expats send back home to their families. Hundreds of thousands of families depend on money sent home by relatives in the diaspora. According to the World Bank, global remittances are projected to plunge by 20% in 2020 due to the economic crisis induced by the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown. This threatens the safety net for millions of people because these remittances help families with food, health care, and basic needs. Take Haiti, for instance. A decline in remittances could exacerbate an alarming food crisis. Free trade policies induced by industrialized nations since the 1980s have made the country more reliant on imported food, eroding its once robust agricultural sector and leading to increased unemployment. In actual sense, the yearly increase in the diaspora remittances has prevented a further decline in the nation's economy as the country has continually recorded a negative economic growth. In 2019, diaspora remittances represented more than 36% of Haiti's GDP. This only points that the economic slowdown in the developed world could have a serious impact on developing countries who rely on diaspora remittances from nationals abroad to members of their households at home who need the money to pay for necessities like food, most especially.
The World Bank forecast Africa alone could lose more than $11 billion in remittances from the diaspora in 2020 and fears that the continent could also see a drop in foreign direct investments.
Although the World Bank has promised to keep remittance channels open and safeguard the poorest communities' access to the most basic needs, it is still imperative to note that if remittances from abroad slow down, it would have dire consequences on most families who depend on it for their survival.